Carriers in LoadCall are the transportation companies that your drivers will be operating under. For some organizations, there will only be one carrier, which is your organization in here, whereas other organizations may have several different third-party or owner-operators that are also operating under your dispatch system, as is the case with this example. So there's a few options on this page, and we're going to go over each of them. So let's go ahead and click on New Carrier to create a new company in here. So I'm going to go ahead and call this test123 as the name of the carrier so that we can easily find them and look at them later. And I'm going to go ahead and say that they're an owner-operator. Now you'll notice there's quite a few different options. The only ones that are required are those that are highlighted in yellow, like a contact email and the name of the company. However, there are other options that may be useful to have in here, like contact name and phone number, addresses, regions, DOT numbers, etc. But let's go ahead and create this carrier by clicking on this green Create Carrier button. You'll notice that it's faded out if we're missing any of our required fields. So if my email here is missing, it won't let me create it. But let's go ahead and put that back in. Click Create Carrier. And now it's going to take us back to this page. However, if we scroll down, you can see that test123 is one of the carriers on this page. Alternatively, if you have a lot, you can click on Search, search by name, and now click on the carrier you want, and the table will be limited down to that carrier. So once you do this, you can go ahead and click on the three-dot menu for our other options. View will open up a window where you can see all of the information entered about that carrier, including the regions if you had any, and a log of all of the events on that carrier. There is the option to view drivers and equipment, which in this case, because we just created them, they won't have any. If we go ahead and get rid of our search parameter up here, we can go ahead and look at another carrier here and see it looks like this person has two drivers, this demo driver and then Douglas, as well as a truck and a trailer, and you have VIN information, license plates, etc., all from the carrier page if it's something you need to look up, all the equipment that they have working with you. You can also always go in and edit them. Let's get back to test. Editing will pull up that same form in the beginning where you can change any of this information. In addition, we can go ahead and copy the carrier if you have a carrier that has almost all the same contact info or something you don't want to enter in multiple times. You can copy and start from there and then change it, as well as deleting the carrier. So if I click delete, you can go ahead and remove this carrier. They will no longer show up in here. They will no longer show up in the search. After it caches, I probably have to refresh the page in order for the test123 to not show up anymore in there. We can do that really fast. And if I go into search after the page refreshes, you can see that the only test is now this test carrier. And they are no longer an option for drivers or carrier or trucks or trailers to be assigned to. So be careful when you do delete things that you're not deleting something that's being used. But yeah, that should sum up everything on the carriers page. There are a couple of options at the bottom that we will go on their individual pages. You may or may not have access to these, but if you do have access to these, depending on the permissions for your organization, those will be covered in the videos for their respective pages. So yeah, so that sums up carriers in LoadCall.